Recording.
I'm recording.
We have now made the transition from hanging out to podcasting.
Social time to work time.
Yeah,
This is probably the shortest period we've ever had.
We're on the clock.
Social
Wages are
time
being
to
entered.
Yeah. Punched in, locked in.
Shortest
ready
break
to
we've
go.
ever had.
We may
That's
not
true.
you guys are not getting paid in money. You're getting paid in experience, but you are on the clock.
What's
But you're on the clock.
how does Unpaid Intern, the song by Bo Burnham, go again?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What? Have you not never heard it?
I know who Bo
Unpaid
Burnham
Intern.
is, but I don't know the song.
You disappoint
I'm not
me.
really a Bo Burnham guy.
I'm not either, but I know the song.
He's okay. Like I do
my God,
like him. Inside was really
shut
good, but
Inside was. I think it's in Inside.
is it? I haven't
I
seen it
think
since it
so.
came out, and then I only have some of the songs on my
sorry.
phone.
Okay.
I haven't
well,
seen any of those Bo Burnham music videos.
I haven't seen that newfangled Bo Burnham boy.
Y'all ever hear of this Bo Burnham guy?
what are these kids talking about here? This Bo
It's
Burnham.
on their TikTok.
Bo Burnham.
On
Yeah, it
their
is in. It is in.
TikToks.
All kids these days knows there's TikTok, Bo Burnham, and podcasts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everyone's got a
It's
podcast these days.
True.
But it is an Inside, by the way. So you're just a big
Is it?
fan.
Okay. I only saw it once when it came out.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
never saw it. I cannot add to this conversation.
It's pretty good.
That's fair.
Probably
Yeah.
not
It's-
worth watching in the year of our Lord 2025. It was
I mean,
good.
I
No,
like
it's historical reference.
It was
you
good.
know,
Like,
to,
it
COVID.
was really good.
It flows parallel with me taking a photo of every social distancing sign that I can find.
Are you doing that?
Were you?
Yeah, on my phone. I've specifically on my phone every time I see a little sticker on the ground that's worn and says maintain 2 meters / 6 feet from each other.
That's
I
incredible.
take a photo of it.
I didn't know you were doing that. That's great.
Or like a mask blowing in the wind.
So artsy. What? We're 2 minutes in and Ray's gone. What happened?
I'm not. I
Why'd
muted
you-
myself. I was
If you
talking to
didn't
the mic. 'cause
comment
I,
on it, it would have
I
been
accidentally
fine.
did a little-
No. I'm going to comment on it, and I'm paying
No,
attention.
I was putting on hand lotion and it sound kind of
You were on the
squelchy
clock,
and gross.
Ray.
So I'm still recording. I was just telling the microphone and you in the future.
I didn't say
that-
it. I'm going to have to
Connor's gonna
deduct
get
this from
a
your wages.
That, and I'm not
Take
gonna do
the,
the thumbnail. Fuck you.
Yeah, take the audio of just actually. Can you boost the audio of Ray putting the hand lotion on rather than muting it for the duration?
It's just like just a looped audio of that 10 seconds of just going Schlork, Schlork, Schlork.
That would be great. We'll
Bass
filter out
boosted
the
and echoey.
I think I
I'll
like
filter
your
out all the
sound effect of
misophonia.
Schlork better anyways.
Schlork. Maybe I'll just
Schlork.
drop that on our social medias just with no context.
You should.
That'd be
You
good. That'd be
should.
good. You can put that in the description for when you post the
Schlork.
clip from the episode.
Schlork,
Except it
Schlork,
won't.
Schlork.
It'll just say Schlork, but it will not be anything even remotely close to this bit.
Schlork. Check us out on our socials. Schlork.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Schlork.
And Instagram and the blue sky that doesn't exist still.
I gave you the login info to make it. You can't even yell at me anymore.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying I was gonna accuse myself.
I'll
but
get
then
to
you
it
jumped
at
to
some
conclusions.
point, but
I don't.
All right.
I don't want blue
I'm-
sky.
I'm-
Although
don't
I
have
am,
to use it.
we should probably have a TikTok just to post clips. But
Oh yeah, that probably would help.
I
Yeah,
don't want to get
use
TikTok. Although I do.
Yeah, I don't think any of us use TikTok.
I don't like TikTok.
No.
Unless Ethan uses TikTok.
No.
I do
Yeah, I
kind of
think
want to
so.
get it though, so I can watch
TikTok
a
is
Minecraft
for
live stream.
deplorables.
Because
God,
currently they're doing a thing. This is not sponsored, but they're doing a thing for the Minecraft movie where you can get a free cape if you watch a TikTok login for Minecraft the game. You can do it on Twitch too, which I'm gonna do, but it's a different cape. When you put it onto an elytra, it changes the texture to just be Jack Black's face, and I really need that.
That's
needs
awesome.
it.
I kind of love that.
Folks, he needs it.
He needs it.
This
I
is
need
necessary.
it.
I am Steve.
He is Steve.
Flint
Speaking
and
of
steel.
Schlork, welcome
The
to
nether.
Don't
Oh.
Get Me Started.
Ooh,
A podcast
yay.
we haven't recorded in a bit.
It's only
Actually,
been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it hasn't been too long actually.
I guess it's been a while since I've had to say the words "Don't even get me started" because I really kind of stumbled through the title. I'm like, say it right, buddy. You don't mess it up. That
You
would
have-
be embarrassing.
It was perfect. 5 stars.
Inside your brain, you
Thank
had
you,
yourself
thank
at gunpoint. and
Your
you
wages are
nailed it.
doubled for this episode.
Oh,
Go
big.
fuck yourself, Connor.
I got Reddit gold from the owner.
I can't believe you're paying Ethan and not me. Ethan doesn't do anything but
he's paid an
be pretty
I don't do anything
and do the
here.
presentations.
Yeah. Ray does art, Connor does
provide good
editing, and
content.
I say things sometimes.
Yeah,
He's the mascot.
that is true. I think Ethan is a fair mascot.
It's me.
If we ever had
Don't
to take
even get me started gritty.
any drawing from the thumbnails that would act as like the new icon for Don't Even Get Me Started would probably be Ethan with his giant teeth.
From the first
teeth.
episode.
Yeah,
was a
from the
good
first
one.
episode.
That
Or
was a banger.
yeah, I enjoyed drawing that one. Only because because Ethan had it as his profile picture on Discord for so long that that's like the main thing I associate. And I like seeing that Connor changed his always himself profile picture to the one that I drew of him.
Oh, I meant to
When
change
was
it.
the last
actually.
time the profile on Discord wasn't a drawing you did, Connor?
I've only had 2 profile pictures ever on Discord.
Oh.
It was
It's,
my
the
regular
Joker.
CJSiev
Change.
logo, and now the one Ray drew from the. I think that's from the UFO episode. I was gonna change it to
Yes.
the most recent one though, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Currently, Ethan's
about,
profile picture is the crater on the moon, Gay Lucas.
Oh,
It was.
Is
It's
that why
actually
your
a crater
name
on
is
Mercury.
Gay Lucas?
Yeah,
Was it
it's just-
Mercury? Oh,
I think it's a crater on Mercury. I was just like scrolling around on maps.
I was on call for that.
Yeah, I was scrolling around on maps. I'm like, oh, check this out. We can go like look at a map of Mercury.
Was it
Everyone loves Mercury,
Maybe it
and then I
was
zoomed right in on a crater
I
that was
love
labeled
Mercury.
Gay Lucas.
that's so funny.
So I was
I'll
Not
explain
forced
to
to
bullied you into
rename
changing
myself.
it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. Podcast about
podcast
presentations about stuff.
Did we introduce ourselves?
Nope.
No, because I said the name and then we got distracted. I'm Ethan. Joining me are Ray and Connor.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Another episode. We're back. A sequel, long time in the making. It's like it's the Incredibles 2 of this podcast. It took a while. Samuel L. Jackson is involved. No, Samuel L. Jackson's not involved. I don't think he's been within 100 kilometers of
He's
the city of
driving the
Edmonton.
train.
He's not driving the train.
Who's driving
This-
the train?
Hey, Connor, you want to stream this for Ray? You forgot to do
Oh, I forgot to stream the show.
I've
I
been
was like,
looking
I'm
around
enjoying
my
this, I
screen. I've been looking around my screen.
There you go, Ray.
Like this little thought running around the back of my head. I'm like, something here is missing. And I'm not sure what it
It's
is.
wrong.
On my second screen, I've
I
got
can't-
my presentation open so I can see the notes. And I'm like, why isn't Connor moving his little cursor around to like point at the train?
The third of the podcast can't see it,
That's fine.
and the other third isn't doing their fucking
This
job.
is a well-prepared
I
episode.
linked
Connor,
it.
your
That's
pay's
on
getting
you for
deducted
not
because of
left
that.
clicking.
What time did you finish the slides today, Ethan?
3 o'clock.
What time is it now?
4:24.
Yep. This is a well-prepared
Hey,
episode.
on time. All the notes I wanted. Only a couple buildings were cut. We're doing good here.
Ray and I found
Yeah.
out the what episode we were doing when you sent the podcast, or when you sent this
Yeah,
link.
it's a surprise.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
you guys to like know anything.
Oh, that wasn't
Keep
a
it
good
fun.
place.
Keep it funky.
I mean, is it the first time? I take that train every day or every second day to school.
Yep.
Do
Good
not.
train. Capital Line.
Oh, I take the
Or you take
I take the
the,
maid train and the health sciences line, the metro line. I think it is.
Metro Line.
I take the
Yeah.
bus
Yeah.
because they
I
have
also
not
sometimes
finished
take the
the line to the mall yet.
The western
Yeah.
extension of the Valley Line.
Is that what line it is?
Yeah, it's more Valley Line.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I didn't
interesting.
know that. I thought it was its own
I
separate
didn't either.
line.
A train's gonna take forever to get to downtown.
I don't
Like,
take
we're
the
gonna be out
train
of
very
school.
often. It never
That's gonna
goes
be
anywhere I
great.
want.
That I will widely prefer the bus. Like it feels so much. It feels way safer than the train does.
I could probably count the
The
amount of
bus?
times I've taken the train on my hands. I don't really. It never goes anywhere I
I-
need it to.
Yeah,
I ride it for fun.
You're insane.
Yeah.
that's nuts. I hate that train. I don't hate it. I don't like it.
I don't hate the train. It just it
it's-
doesn't go
I
where I
strongly
need it
dislike
to.
Yeah.
I like it when I get the drivers who legitimately don't care about their safety, so you can tell it like ripping around at high speeds and braking really hard.
Tokyo drifting on the railway.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Hold on, number 2. All right.
Taking a number 2 right
What?
now.
It was my birthday. I got that should be on the recording. The can crack.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear that on our end. It was like, what are you
I
talking
couldn't hear you either.
about?
I was so.
It was my birthday yesterday. I got a lot of
Happy
ice.
birthday, Ethan.
Oh yeah! Happy belated birthday.
Yeah,
Our
now it's
boy
spring.
is 42.
They grow up so fast.
Correct.
Yep. And next year they'll be 52.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. I guess
Yes, this is a sequel to the second episode I did, where I talked about all those buildings in Edmonton listed in that book that I only cared about one of the buildings. Now we're going to talk about a bunch of structures in Edmonton that are that I actually do care about, which is probably going to lead to slightly more interesting content. Who knows? We'll see.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. But yeah, so you'll remember last time talked about a.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I thought you were saying
No,
next slide.
Stay on that one. Stay on. It's fine. Go to the next one.
I thought I was
So
anticipating
you'll
the
remember
movements.
last
I
time.
was wrong.
I thought you said shut up and move to the next slide because I disrespect you as a person.
No.
Hmm.
I respect you as a person.
Oh. But not Connor.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. You know what?
Good to know where I stand on this podcast.
Connor gave me Reddit gold over Ray. Ray,
Just for that
And
little
he
comment,
deducted my
right? Just for that
fucking
little
pay.
comment, Ethan. Now your wages are reducted. Now you're getting paid normal experience.
I got Reddit paper. I got a
Wow.
downvote.
Reddit
which is
copper.
terrible.
Unsubscribe.
So this is actually the image I ended the last episode we did, like the second episode forever ago. It's the same one. I stole it from the podcast episode from which I stole it from a CBC article. But yeah, hey look, it's the high level bridge. So the construction of this, I'm just kind of getting into it. I'm not no setup. You know what Edmonton is. What other establishing features do we need to talk about Edmonton? It's just
it's
you
over
know what
at
Edmonton is. Yep.
River.
I've been there a couple
City.
times.
It's over there.
I think I've seen that building over there.
Yeah, there's a couple buildings in this image. They're
Mhm.
familiar. The high-level bridge. Yes. This came from an article talking about its preservation, actually. I'm losing my mind. I'm completely
We're 12
blanking.
minutes
I
in.
don't know why. I know, but I used all my brain energy to finish this up an hour ago. Iced tea is delicious. The high-level bridge is an engineering marvel, frankly, and it was
Like the cinematic universe.
yeah, just like that. And
Awesome.
it. Why didn't I write more fucking notes? As always. No, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
All right. You could do it, buddy.
Losing my mind. I don't know how to segue into this. Look, it's a bridge. They built
Well-
a bridge over the water.
What's like a Segway, like a subway? And what's on the? Fucking. I'm sorry, Andrew.
What are
That's
you-
it's it's fine. There's
I'm
there's a trolley on the bridge. It's
Yeah,
not a subway,
that's-
actually.
Well, I know it's close enough.
There's also cars
Yeah.
on it.
What do
There's
you
also
guys
cars
know? What do you guys know about the high level bridge? Maybe we can team up on
It
this
used
one.
to shoot
Well,
water
I-
and then they turned it off.
It
That's
also
true, it did have
changes
water.
color.
They,
When it's
it-
dark.
They do have the
They also
LEDs
do
on
that,
it
yeah.
now.
It's
The
the most
LEDs are
stressful
nice.
drive under a bridge
I was gonna say-
that I've ever been on. I hate
I
driving on
fucking
high-level
hate
bridge.
getting on
It's
there. Yeah,
fine.
it's
I
a one-way
hate driving
bridge.
on
It
it.
only goes south. It
It
doesn't
only
go
goes
north.
one way. That's
That's
true.
true.
I think the last time I was
Yeah.
on here was with you. I think that was the day we saw 2 Cybertrucks.
Oh, I
Devastating.
missed that. I can't believe I wasn't there for that.
I saw a Cybertruck the other day. Ruined my day.
It always does.
Mhm.
Did I show you the image of the Cybertruck with like the bed cover? You know how trucks can get like that little like extra bit on top of like the bed
You have not shown me
to
this.
like cover it up. Oh god, it's disgusting.
Ooh, I love
yeah,
that.
folks, Cybertruck bad. Anyway, so the high-level bridge was constructed in 1912. I think what I'm having an issue is I never like ordered any of these slides. I just made them as they came to me, essentially.
It came to
Right?
me in a dream, a
It
premonition.
came to me. It came to me in a vision. I ordered. So there's like there's no sequence to this. They're not in order. So I'm gonna reference things that I haven't talked about yet, and also have to refer back to things that I already talked about constantly. Right?
Ethan put
But-
pen to paper and his eyes just glassed over.
and then all of a sudden there was a presentation
The
on Google
podcasting
Docs. I don't even know how I
spirit
did it.
possessed him.
All I had was pen
Yeah.
and paper, and now this computer formed in front of me.
I actually don't know where I am. I've never been here before. I don't know these strange people that are in this house. What is happening?
So the bridge was constructed in 1912, 1913. It was mainly designed to connect the Canadian Pacific Railway into Edmonton. I think I mentioned when we were talking about train stations back in that second episode, not that you, which, yeah, go listen to it, listener.
It will be
the,
linked at the end.
When the CPR built its tracks up from Calgary to the Edmonton, what is now the Edmonton area, it initially stopped on the south side of the river in Strathcona in like the 1890s. It wasn't until this bridge that they actually had a link across the river so that the CPR could actually get into Edmonton proper, even though by the time they opened this bridge in the both cities had merged into just Edmonton, so Strathcona became just a subdivision of the city. So technically they made it either way, but this bridge is sick, and it's not shown on here because they've tore up the tracks, and maybe I could have gotten an older photo of all three tracks on it, but there used to be, so let's see, what would it carry on here? It would carry 3 sets of railway tracks. The one in the center that the trolley there is on now, run by the Edmonton Radial Railway Society. They drive on Saturdays, I believe, in the summer. You can just go down, you can hop on the trolley. I feel like I asked this before, if either of you been on the trolley.
Nope.
No.
And I never will, because it's a bridge
Yeah,
and
Connor-
I hate heights.
I'd like
Connor.
to try it.
We'll go on the trolley, Ray.
Yeah.
I hate bridges.
Connor, will you come along?
Well, we hate you, and
will-
that's why you're coming with us.
Will
Ray.
FOMO beat out your fear of heights?
I'm also afraid of heights.
Taking
and
an
I would do it.
extended pay cut out of you.
Oh my god.
I don't know why I've
God,
started this bit.
You're such a hard ass. I fucking hate that you're my boss.
I'll go if you force me.
Oh,
It'll be
look at you being
fun.
all willing and stuff.
That's right, folks. FOMO beats fear of heights. Let's
This
go.
is
That's right,
true.
folks. Connor's a sub.
I fuck
He will
off.
be.
Dude.
Yes.
Dude. All he said was he's going to take your money. You don't have to call him a sub.
No. No, it's just because he's just easy to like bring along when he's like, I don't want to do it, and we're like, you're going to, and he's
Just
like,
do it.
fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Come
I
on
think
this
it's the FOMO.
episode to be berated.
You're
Don't
the
worry.
one who's pay cutting us. We don't, by the way, we don't get paid. We
No, I don't pay you.
You should pay us though.
I'm
We get
also
paid.
not your boss.
We get paid in Reddit gold, folks.
In a way, Connor has control over us because he can control the audio.
Even if we did make money off this, I wouldn't be your boss.
Or you wouldn't be paying us. Connor would be spending it on Bionicles.
No, I'd be gone
probably.
immediately. No.
Yeah, that'd be gone so fast. So fast.
Patreon money? What
Honestly,
Patreon
yeah.
money?
No Patreon money.
AdSense?
Speaking of,
That's not real.
Maybe
speaking
if
of
we get
whatever
a few
that
hundreds.
conversation was, you'll be happy to know, Connor, that this trolley ride is actually much better than what it used to be, because there used to be tracks, like 3 tracks, one either side of the current existing track that would carry the trolleys, so you'd be even closer to the edge.
Yeah, that's awful, and I hate it.
It's hilarious, honestly. So below those 3 tracks, there was the roadway and the pedestrian pathways that still exist today. Neither have been widened. Like there has been no modifications to the deck of this bridge in its entire over 100-year history, 110 at this point.
Damn.
At one point, I believe it would have had two-way traffic. It was probably converted to one-way traffic whenever the Walterdale Bridge was constructed, which I don't know when that was because I never added it to this presentation. But yeah, so eventually sometime in like the 50s, they removed the trolley service, and the CPR, for reasons we will talk about like at the end of this fucking presentation, because everything has bits connecting to each other, but they're not in order because I'm amazing at my job. They stopped running freight train. I think the last one ran in 1989, and that was it. The bridge still stands. It's a heritage resource in the city. Remember that title we talked about, like for some of the buildings in the second episode, like a municipal heritage resource is, I believe, the official title from the city of Edmonton. But
I remember that.
I'm just, yeah.
I
So
don't.
and it's my favorite bridge. It's very cool, essentially.
Favorite bridge in the
spans.
whole world or just in Edmonton?
Oh yeah, definitely like the best bridge in the whole world, to be honest.
Oh, cool.
Over here, the Golden
There are
Gate
no
Bridge.
better bridge. Nope, never heard of it.
The only other bridge
I don't know
can
what
think of.
I don't know what suspension bridges are.
The Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, that's another one I can
I
think
don't.
of. 'Cause
That's
I've
Did
played
you say the
suspension.
Golden Gate
suspension
Bridge?
I said Golden Gate Bridge.
She said
It's the
Golden
only
Gate.
one I
We got
said.
two other
Okay,
bridges,
I
and
did
we're
not
already
hear you.
winning. We're winning
Can't
so
think of any
hard.
other bridges.
The Rainbow Bridge.
Rainbow Road.
Rainbow
Road. The best
Yeah.
map in Mario Kart.
Speaking of Rainbow Road, you'll remember in the last episode I posted the photo that Connor doesn't like, where you can see the legislature being constructed, the high-level bridge in Fort Edmonton in it.
It's not. It's not right.
Yes.
It's
An
What
affront
makes it
to
wrong?
God.
It's not. It's not supposed to be that way.
That's not God's given right.
People
What
are
was
calling
wrong
it
with that
an
photo?
affront to God. Unnatural.
What was it about that you didn't like again?
It's to me, those two
Hey, Connor,
buildings
next slide.
do not exist in the same time frame. They just. Well, I guess we're staring at it, aren't we? But
Yeah, that's Fort Edmonton being deconstructed.
It just these two buildings in my brain are like 200 years apart. It's like how Picasso lived in the 50s. That doesn't sit right with me. He's supposed to be dead.
Picasso
in, like,
lived in the 50s?
Yeah.
Like 1950s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not.
Huh.
It like
I don't think I knew that.
he
For
seems
one decade. He
like-
died at 10 years old and made all that art.
Yeah, like
Oh,
he
that's
seems
pretty cool.
like someone that was like a classical artist, but he's not. Just the way people talk about him. This building
Yeah.
occupies that same space in my brain. Like, it should have been gone like 100 years before the legislative was built.
But it's not.
And Fort Edmonton's now a
It's-
theme park, so it's not even real.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not even
true.
real.
I
Not
like
even
it.
the right
It's
spot.
fucking real.
Yeah, we're looking at Fort Edmonton. On the left is an aerial shot of the recreation at Fort Edmonton Park. It is pretty much identical to the final version of Fort Edmonton, because there was not just one. So Fort Edmonton began in 1795, not even within Edmonton, like current city limits. It was all the way out by Fort Saskatchewan. It was built where the Sturgeon River meets the North Saskatchewan, just across, like just to the north and east of modern Fort Saskatchewan, in 1795, and it was a shared like trading post between the two rival companies at the time, the Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company.
Rest in
That's a
peace,
big
Hudson's Bay Company.
What?
Rest in peace, Hudson's Bay Company. It's about to close down.
Oh yeah, they're finally
Is it
filing
really?
for bankruptcy after like 400 years of operation.
Literally a centuries-old company going down.
I did not
Maybe they
think that was
should have
possible.
been better.
Maybe they
Should've
should have
been
just not had expensive stuff. It's like a department store, but rich.
It's like a
It's
shitty
a
department store.
It's such a
Yeah.
shit department store.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's
But so there were two.
Maybe it's not a
technically
department
the
store. Well, it's kind of like it doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's a department store. So the Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company had two different names for their trading posts there, which were in the same location. There was Edmonton House for the Hudson's Bay Company, and it was Fort Augustus for the Northwest Company. For French fur traders, it would have been called Fort de Prairie, and in Cree, I worked really hard on trying to get the pronunciation for this. Amisquaskegon, or Beaver Hills House.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, can you send it in the group chat?
I'm gonna send it in general.
Okay.
So we can get the cool person to tell me how cool I am. And yeah, there.
Amisquaskegon. Yeah.
Yippee!
Yeah.
You can speak some Cree.
Research pays off.
You speak more than I speak.
Well, I know like a sentence, which is I want to learn Cree.
Which is more than
So
Connor.
it's exponentially better than I
And
speak.
me. And me.
I couldn't speak a word of Cree.
It's a very pretty language. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
It's a funny language too, because it's like for a lot of languages, if you don't know if there's no word for it in Cree, they just like smash a bunch of words together. So like I don't remember what it is exactly, but like my Cree teacher was like describing what hippopotamus was, which was like big fat leg, monstrosity or whatever. It was really funny.
I mean, that sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very common for obviously like different places. Like
that's what most
any
languages
language will do that.
Yeah.
Like most languages do that, but
English
I like
is one of the only ones that doesn't.
Yeah.
Which is why it's used in business, because you can just add shit to it and it doesn't change anything.
It's easy to coin words and like make your own word in English. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because English already borrows so much from different languages.
Yeah, because it's like 7 languages in a trench coat.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. This isn't a linguistic presentation. I'm gonna stop talking.
This could be a linguistic presentation. I'm okay with this.
I will make a linguistic presentation sometime, and we can all talk about words.
That's you do the boring anthropology. Do the cool anthropology.
No.
Hey.
The cool anthropology is like
bones.
It's like
archaeology
stuff.
Y'all ever seen Indiana Jones? It's that.
Actually, that's true. He's right, Ray. Cool anthropology
that still
involves punching
cultural
Nazis.
anthropology, though.
Okay,
right. You know what? I'm not gonna fight for that title. You can have it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm okay with that.
So all right. And Amisquaskegon means Beaver Hills House. I don't know if I said that, but how did this Fort Edmonton get from where Fort Saskatchewan is all the way out in front of the legislature? The legislature's not in Fort Saskatchewan. That would be ridiculous.
Why don't we take Fort Edmonton and push it somewhere else?
Literally. So the first version lasted until 1802, until due to like furs and like wood depletion in the area, they moved it to where the Rossdale power plant is. Let me see.
Yeah, that's near the it's near the baseball stadium.
Right near the baseball stadium, right on the flats, right where the Walterdale Bridge, a bridge I didn't put in this presentation, like meets the north side of the river.
And it's not far from the Utah Conservatory.
The reason
it's across the river.
The reason we know that they moved it here, we got archaeological evidence when they were literally digging underneath, like demolishing parts of that Rossdale power plant there. They found evidence of the second iteration of Fort Edmonton, which...
Shit, this just got way harder.
Yeah. We love archaeological excavations. So now they've moved into Edmonton proper. An interesting fact, hold on a sec. So the first woman to...
Ever.
The first...
let's say not the first woman ever. I should clarify. The first woman of European descent to live in the area was Marie-Anne Lagmodier, who is noteworthy as the grandmother of Louis Riel.
Oh,
shit,
cool.
really? I didn't know that.
And she was here at the same time. They live in like 1807, so she would have visited this second fort in the Rossdale area. Now,
neat.
after now in 1810, the fort was moved again. This time a lot further away, 100 kilometers northeast to where Smoky Lake is, to the mouth of a creek called White Earth Creek. We have not much evidence for this existing. Like, we're not sure exactly where it was. There's no plaque marking the location or anything. And this one only lasted 2 years because they had moved the fort from where native people had been gathering for time immemorial to trade with each other to the middle of nowhere, where, well, actually not really the middle of nowhere, more of like the border. My understanding from the Wikipedia was like the Cree and the Blackfoot wouldn't trade because it was too close to each other's territories.
They, as far as I know, Cree and Blackfoot have already like been rivals at that point.
Yes, we
They
are
didn't really
solidly
like
in
each other.
1810.
Yeah.
Solidly not liking each other's own.
Yeah.
So this fort only lasted for 2 years before moving back to where the second site was for the fourth fort in 1812. This final move back to, this move back to the second site begins the start of recorded human habitation within Edmonton, and like continuous recorded habitation. So 1812 is when we know, recorded on paper, that people have lived here continuously for the whole time, even though it's not technically Edmonton yet. This site would last for the longest period out of any yet, for 20 years, and would also see the merger of the Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company into just the Hudson's Bay Company after there was literal wars fought between private companies in the middle of like nowhere. It's weird, dude. Victorian era is very weird. Actually, we're not in the Victorian era, are we?
I think it's post-Victorian at this point.
I don't remember.
Pre.
Let's bring that back. Companies waging war.
Victoria becomes queen in
Women can't read.
1836, so we're only in the 1830s. And finally, after some flooding in the 1830s, because the river do flood, we will get to that.
It do be flooding like that.
It do be flooding. We finally moved to the site just downhill from the legislature, pictured here. On the right, I should add. And it looked identical to the layout that's in the photo on the left at Fort Edmonton Park. This is an almost pretty much perfect replica. We've got a lot of records of the fort because, this fort stood for 85 years from like it. The demolition here on the right is taking place in 1915. 85 years of work as a trading post, 1830 to 1915, I think is a little more than that. But we got photos of it. We got plenty of drawings and sketches of where all the posts were, where all the buildings were, what buildings were what. And so this, and it was moved just up the hill because like Rossdale is pretty much, it's only a couple feet above the river, whereas the rest of North Saskatchewan sitting in this valley, most of the city sits way up on the rest, like at the same elevation across the prairies. I don't know how to explain this any better. It's up on a terrace. It's up. It's just up. It's up the hill. It's up the hill. It's not that it's up the hill. Just say it's up the hill, Ethan.
Is it up the hill?
Up the hill. And then after the demolition, there were intentions to save the wood to build the replica, and then that never happened. It's believed a Boy Scout troop may have accidentally used it to light some fires. We don't actually know.
Okay.
But none of
funny.
none of the wood in this from the buildings that were demolished here because it was an eyesore. We got this new legislature building. It's blocking the view. No one's using it anymore. Like, just tear it down. So they tore it down, got rid of it all, and in 1996, the replica was built in its current location.
I thought we said
downstream.
It was a little older than that.
The replica?
Yeah. I believe you. I just thought it was older than that. I thought it was built in the 80s.
Well, that would make it younger.
What? In 96?
Sorry, did I say 69 or 96?
96.
Oops, I meant 69.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
As he
That's
said
why I said-
nice.
That's why I
I
said
was like,
nice.
That explains
I mean,
a lot more.
96,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it's
joke makes more
69
sense
backwards,
now.
I guess.
The joke made more sense when you say the number right. But
That it's older
He's
than I
nice
thought.
to
Yeah.
himself. Yeah.
the two cannons in the Royal Berta Museum,
Berta.
as far as I know, they are the real cannons. There should be no reason that
As
the
far as
city
I know,
wouldn't
they
be
are
able
too.
to take care of those. I mean, why else would they display them as the cannons? The cannons that were never fired because no one knew how to fire them, and also the fort never came under attack.
And nobody attacked it.
Yeah. So they just have like two cannons that kind of sat around. So they're in perfect condition, essentially.
I do have a question.
Yes.
This building here is this one, right? This is, I believe it's the main kind of administrative building, right? Are these the same
No,
building?
I think that would have been one of the two-story buildings, like flanking it on either side, is what we're looking at being demolished. So from the view of it, we're directly south of the legislature, right? Looking north. My understanding is that's either the row of buildings opposite of the main admin building, or one of the two
These ones?
buildings flanking it. Yeah,
Okay.
because it looks to be
Interesting.
part of like a two-story building.
Yeah, it's definitely
By the time the city had been established, the palisade had been removed, so the wall around it for at least some time before the official demolition in 1915 got started.
Interesting.
But yes, that is Fort Edmonton, and it kind of still stands, but not really. Not really.
My parents used to do catering. They used to work at a catering company, and they would run it out of this building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they have been
Wild.
on the inside.
They've been in the inside.
Yes, they've
What-
got to.
what,
They've
you
seen the
mean-
cool stuff, and I haven't.
What, you mean at the replica fort?
Yeah, at the replica. Yeah, not in the original, obviously. Not in
It's
the
like,
replica.
damn, your parents, they look
They
great
used to
for
work
however
a-
old that is.
They used to work for a catering
Oh,
company,
Yeah.
and it was. I believe it was
My
up there.
parents got married there.
Did they? Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool. That's pretty neat.
I should
Would you get
ask
married
if-
there if you ever got
I
married?
should. Honestly, it's a good venue. I should
Is
ask.
that okay?
I haven't been.
I
here
should
in a
ask
very
your
long time.
parents. It's like, hey, would you have ever happened to have done catering? I don't know, around October of 2000.
I
They were
don't.
at the Fort Edmonton Park.
I can ask them, but
Wow.
I don't think they would have been catering at that point. It
Would have been very cool, regardless.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
maybe, but I don't think so. I think they just
missed
it.
by inches.
Yeah, my mom was doing. I don't know where she.
In
was
another
doing.
life,
I think the home builders.
what would have happened?
I
I'll
don't
cut
know.
this part, but-
in another
Probably
life,
nothing.
just would have been a cool coincidence,
Yeah.
and now it's still a cool
It
coincidence.
still is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Next slide.
Next slide, please. We should do a cut.
Damn. Oh yeah, we should.
That's a damn. Oh, is that the from the Last of
Yeah,
Us?
that was what I was gonna say, and then Ethan said we should.
Hell
do a
yeah,
cut.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
It does look like that normally.
It does look like it a little bit, just a little.
I'm ready. I'm
Really,
ready.
Recording
really,
again.
fucking does something.
How
hard
do
to
you
believe
remove
I
it?
can start whenever.
It's hard to believe
Let's
that
go.
Pedro Pascal was here.
Yeah. Oh my god. Did I tell you guys that my one classmate
Yeah,
met him
sorry.
at like a coffee shop and he bought her coffee?
Time
No,
out. Are we recording?
I'm recording.
I'm not recording.
Oh my god.
Record.
You can't open with a story like that and not record it, Ray. I have it on.
Oh, sorry.
I'll have it on my backup. You can keep going.
Oh, okay, okay. So I
off.
won't say which friend. In case it didn't get caught, one of my friends, she met Pedro Pascal at a coffee shop in Edmonton while he was filming for The Last of Us, and she doesn't really watch a lot of like contemporary stuff, so she wasn't really familiar with him in the first place. But apparently, she heard in the line, they're like, "Oh my God, is that Pedro Pascal?" And she didn't know who that was, but they were talking theater, like my friend is a theater person, and he kind of was like, "Oh, are you talking about this theater thing?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then they ended up having a conversation with him, and he's like, "You guys are really cool. Can I buy you guys some coffee?" And they're like, "Oh, sure. That'd be so nice of you. Thank you so much." Because he said that he was recording a movie, like he was filming a movie in town, and so that was what he. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just here for this thing," because I think he maybe clocked that they didn't recognize him, or at least my friend didn't recognize him.
I would have.
And so
I would have pointed and go, Star Wars.
Yeah, I would have been like, I'd be like,
Ray, Sounds like Ray's friends got a one-up on your friend Brian from the bar there, Connor.
That's much cooler.
No, in my mind, Brian from the bar is so much cooler. I love
Context
Brian.
listeners, I ran into Ninja Brian from Ninja Sex Party in the bar before a twerp concert, which he was performing at.
We've definitely
so
talked
jealous.
about this, right?
I think so. Well, we have.
I think so.
I think it was in an episode, but he came into the bar, and I said hi before the show.
And he said, hey, be my friend, saw you from across the bar. Really liked your vibe.
That would be legendary.
That
would be really good.
Because I didn't think about it.
Shooters shoot, Connor.
Also,
shooters shoot.
That's harassment.
Yeah.
Nah.
We just walked out and we were like, hey,
Asking
looking forward to the
nicely.
show.
It's
Can we buy
Ninja
you a drink?
Brian.
And he said no. But he was nice about it. And then I ran into him after the show because he was
You're
by
like,
the merch
nice
booth.
show. Can I buy you a drink? No.
At the merch booth, I asked again if I could buy him a drink.
No, and I beg of you,
Can I
let
buy
this
you
be
one
the
of
end
these
of
fine
it.
merchandise from the table next to you?
Can I
And
buy you
shot
your own
again,
merch?
And I missed.
Can I
missed
buy you a
again.
headshot of yourself?
I had a drink.
Signed?
Passed
How
out
do you
on the
think they
floor.
were? I didn't buy
A
one.
drink in my hand. Shot again. Missed.
I also made a Game Grumps reference as well.
Also,
Well,
it's
talking.
It's what to do.
what you do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of Game Grumps, the Alberta legislature,
Flawless segue.
That's where they performed.
the entirety
I
of
was
my
there.
notes on this page are the time it was built, which was between 1907 and 1913, which I should have really looked up where they were hosting the legislature before they had the legislature, because we had been a province for 8 years by the time this thing was finished. But oh well, what can you do?
Didn't
Just
you
some guy's
mention that in the
garage.
last episode though? Like you said, where it was before it was the legislature.
Maybe.
Okay.
Like, you remember the last episode?
I mean, I do.
That was
I
recorded
remember.
that
Talked about
over
the
a year.
I
I
talked about my
remember every
back alley
second of the last
exchange.
episode.
I think that was the same episode, right?
Yeah, because I said the Shoppers Drug Mart exists where there was a theater. We
Yes.
talked about, well, not the clip.
I
Yep.
think so.
Nice.
A Kindle loaded with cocaine.
But yeah, the only other note on this page for the legislature is it was in the TV show, as indicated on the right, and why we were talking about Pedro Pascal, because yeah, he was here.
And this entire city is going to milk that for all it's worth for the next 40
I mean,
years.
that's all Edmonton is good for. Is
Yeah.
hey, Pedro
Milking.
Pascal was here and he said our province was pretty. He said he
Ghostbusters
liked
was
it.
filmed here too. Not in Edmonton, but in Alberta.
No.
Really?
Drumheller.
Afterlife, not
In his favorite town.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, Drumheller and a couple of the small towns outside of Drumheller,
That's really cool.
I think.
Hell
It didn't
yeah.
happen to be Big Valley, was it?
Paul Rudd was here. I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh god. They're like, hey, we're in Alberta. Let's go to this museum
Let's go
in Big
to the
Valley.
Creationism Museum.
I bet this is
Non-zero
what this
chance
province
Paul
is all
Rudd
about.
rolled up into Big Valley and
Oh my
went for
God.
a stroll.
Oh my god.
Paul Rudd went to the Creation Science Museum.
Oh my god, that'd be so
oh my
funny.
god.
I wish Paul Rudd would have shrunk.
I can't put that in the...
You just put a whole bleep over that. That'd be good.
Can you just like beep? Like a really long one. And that'd be the first actual beep we ever use.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not just dolphin. Oh, I guess it could be dolphin noises, but that's the name bleep. It doesn't matter.
Anyways, legislative building.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really don't have. It's Beaux Arts. It looks nice. I had a little graduation party here where we took some photos.
I was
once.
also
That
there.
was cool.
Ray
I was also
Ray
there too.
there, wasn't she?
We were
Ray
all
was also
there. Yeah, we were all there. I was the only one who wasn't graduating because I went to a different school. So.
You wouldn't know them. They go to a different school.
I went to a different school.
That's the joke I didn't quite get in when you said that we wouldn't know your friend who knew Pedro Pascal. I was like, you wouldn't know them.
You wouldn't know them. They're too famous for you.
It looks cool. It still stands. It's very legislature. You know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's an adjective
it's
right
a
there.
government building, man. I don't know. Government buildings, they are what they are. They just exist. They're there so you know where to go and protest. That's about it.
It is weird
got some
seeing
cool
an
fountains
American
up front,
flag
though.
over it.
That is kind of weird.
That's
too.
weird.
Yeah, that is very strange.
Yeah, it
I
is what it
remember
is.
being in there. We went to the legislator for like the mock trial stuff.
I was there.
I did that too.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, yeah.
Ray
It
and
was
I
fun.
went
I
to the
liked it.
same
Not-
elementary school, but not the same high school. and Ethan
Not
and
like
I went
with
to the
you
same high
guys.
school, and
I went.
And
on
I went
separate
elsewhere.
instances.
Yes. None of us went to the same post-secondary institution except for Ethan and Connor.
technically
for a short
not
period of
true.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. And maybe they will go back to school together again.
maybe.
Work in
Maybe.
progress.
Maybe I'll go with you guys too in a year's time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Um,
Maybe the boys will be together.
Maybe.
boys are back in town.
Boys
Yeah,
are
I mean,
back.
it's the legislature. It holds the members of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta. It's got, you know, all that stuff that they do. It's got Daniel Smith. It's got Rachel Notley.
Yeah.
Other people.
Not
Janice
Rachel Notley,
Irwin.
Daniel
Let's go
Smith.
Janice Irwin. Big
Yeah,
W,
Rachel Notley's
Janice
not there
Irwin.
Big
anymore.
W for Janice Irwin.
Yeah, hell
She's
yeah.
super nice. I also met
So
Janice
nice.
Irwin. She's super nice.
I've never met a single politician. No, that's not true. Actually, I have, but I don't think I don't know their name. My family farm got an award for being really old, and then
Oh, yeah.
the MP came by. And
Your
gave
shit's
us-
old.
And gave us
Oh,
like
like the
Congratulations.
federal MP.
was it federal? I don't remember. I've met a politician. I've met a couple of them. It's-
One.
I met a lot. I
I-
shook a lot of hands.
Well,
Held a
the,
lot of
uh,
babies.
This guy's
Kissed a
this
lot of
guy's
mayor
big in
little
the
children.
political circles.
The mayor of who I had actually met before because he used to go to my mom used to do classes in the park, and he would go to them sometimes. He came by. I'll cut
Oh.
all this part because it's not really interesting, but he came
It's interesting.
to. So I'd met him before, and I looked at him. I was like, I know you. You're somebody important. And then he kind of just like asked, like he was just picking up trees, I think, for himself.
Yeah.
And then he asked, and then he was like, "Yeah, can I take a picture?" And I'm like, "What?" And he like takes a selfie with me, and and then he puts it on his Instagram. he didn't tell me that's what he
No
was
wonder
doing.
this is interesting. What are you fucking talking
This
about?
is so interesting.
You need to get this photo
No, I
and
don't
put it in
have
the
it.
episode right now.
It was on his story, so it's not
Oh
there
no!
anymore.
Devastating.
Damn it!
He came by
What if
my
he
work,
tag-
took a selfie with me, put it on his Instagram, and then he left.
And left.
Fuck, that's
Didn't
so
explain.
funny.
And I didn't know who he was until after.
That's
Because
man.
like I went and I talked to my boss, and I was like, "Who is
Like, who
that?"
the
And she's
fuck
like,
was
"That's
that
the
guy?"
mayor."
you just
Mayor's-
rubbed ankles with the mayor.
Yeah,
Mayors are always weird.
he's very nice.
I'm sure that. Listen,
That's funny.
no diss against mayors. You got to be a little weird to be a mayor. You got to be a little weird to want power, but not too much
But not
power.
too much
Just
power.
Yeah, that's like a
municipal
moderate
power.
amount of power.
He's very nice, but it was a very strange interaction with him.
That's so funny. Honestly,
Right.
I think it's fitting. I think that's
That's,
better.
you know what? That could have been worse.
Yeah, no,
could
it
have.
was fine. I would have said yes, but he didn't really ask me. He was just like, "I'm taking a selfie. We're putting it
It was
up."
like we're taking a picture
And I
together.
didn't really know who he was.
You're like, cool. It'll be
Don't talk to me.
$5.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
was really
speaking
tired
of-
at that point. It was a really hot day.
Speaking of
God, okay.
mayors, next slide, please.
I actually have two questions.
Oh,
One,
okay.
why is this on like a CRT TV?
Because I took a photo of a television, so
Okay.
it's got that weird effect that it does.
Is that like is it television or is it a computer?
I don't know. It's a screen
Okay,
It looks like
fair
a
enough.
computer.
of like probably any like modern LED screen would look like that when you take a photo of
Is
it.
this not a CRT?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Who in their right
Oh, I guess
fucking
it's got
mind
the
is
light.
watching The Last of Us?
That's why I
a show
was-
that came out within
That's
the
so
last
funny.
That's why I
5 years
was
on a
curious.
CRT.
It seemed
That'd be
a little-
crazy.
It seemed a little
Honestly,
thick
I
with
would.
the Dell.
There's no reason for anyone to do that. Now, if it was a photo of like Skyrim, there would be reasonable debate. Is this on a CRT
It-
or Doom even? But no,
It
this
just
is-
seemed. I saw the Dell logo. It seemed a little boxy. I thought maybe you stretched the image out a little bit. It seemed a little
probably
boxy
someone's
to be a
computer.
flat
It's
to
probably
be a
someone's
regular
laptop.
TV. That makes sense. Second,
Yeah.
did you rip this image from the Provincial Archives of Alberta?
Yeah, that's where the watermarks are.
Sick. You're allowed to do that. I was just curious if like you found it
That's so
online with the
funny.
watermark, or if you personally ripped it.
Yeah, I went through the archives to find a good building photo, and this is the earliest I could get. That's just frame.
See, Ray, this is why he gets paid
is-
more.
Okay. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done jacking each other off?
No.
Just let's move on, please.
This is real. Anyway, this has nothing to do with mayors. Remember I was talking about floods?
Yep.
Yeah.
there's been a couple floods over the city's history, and this was one of them. Good thing I wrote down what year the flood happened in. 1915. Thank you.
Yeah, I've read the
Link.
Bible. I know when it was.
Thank you, Link, to the city archives folder that I found this in for telling me it was 1915 flood. So this is the low-level bridge. You can tell it's the low-level bridge because it's not the high-level bridge. That's literally why
You could tell it
was
is
called
the way it is.
You could tell it's
it
low
was,
because it's touching the water.
It was built in 1900. This was the first span across the North Saskatchewan. When I say first span across the North Saskatchewan, that's not just in Edmonton. That is any part of the North Saskatchewan.
Fuck.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. It was. It carried. At the time, well, I guess it was just like a couple of years after it was built. It was train tracks were put on it to carry the Edmonton, Yukon, and Pacific Railway, which eventually became the Canadian Northern and then Canadian National Railway. So, yeah, as you can see, little through truss bridge. It used to be called the Edmonton City Bridge or something along those lines until the high level was completed. And then they're like, well, if that one's the high level, what should we name this one? So that's how it got the name Low Level Bridge. And so not only were there train tracks on it, it was actually mixed traffic. So while there were train tracks, there was also enough of a bed on it that when there wasn't a train, people were allowed to take their horses or cars or just walk across the bridge. This is not too dissimilar to other bridges in low rail traffic areas where there's some pedestrian need, as they'll just you can walk across it legally this time.
If there's a
We
train,
will not
move.
sue you.
Yeah, so you can
Or
see
you.
here in 1915, and because this is pre-merger, we know this is still a Canadian Northern train. This train was parked right on this bridge. Don't ask me how this helped the bridge, but we'll see in a couple slides the difference between, just remember where that deck level is and where the water level is. Or even if, I don't know if either of you, when's the last time you really took a good solid look at the low level bridge way over on the east side of the city, somewhere we don't go often?
Probably the last. I think you and I went there once, so you could look at the bridge.
Or at the Mootart.
Yeah. I think, no, we went there to the bridge once, and you were like, "Deb, check this out." And I'm like, cool.
For me, it hasn't been
be saying this.
recent, but it's been less than a year. He do be saying that sometimes, yeah.
I don't remember when we
Yeah,
went.
this is maybe 10 to 20 feet above the normal level of the water. We'll see there's a modern photo with non-flooding conditions in a couple slides that we'll get to, but don't ask me how this worked. It just did. They saved the bridge, clearly, because it still stands.
Looks a little different.
It does look a little different because it kind of rusted a little bit, but that's okay. We can see how well it saved it if we go to the next slide, to a photo I hadn't seen before doing this presentation. You can see it was quite the flood, so I imagine a lot of...
From Halo.
Yeah.
Ah!
This is
And also the book Halo.
Yep. Thank you, Connor. But yeah, so this was...
Thank you.
My only note on this slide, because for some reason I had a couple photos of this, was so that river floods.
Damn, it do be flooding.
It do be flooding. Yeah.
It's flooding.
Yeah. And I added this because the bridge is neat, but also because this photo is just really strange. I don't understand what about you have to get a civil engineer to really dig into if this helped or hindered, and I don't know how to answer those questions. But
so this is stuff they just chucked into the river just to brace
no,
up
that's
the river? Or is it
no, that's houses, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my neck. I wasn't sure if that was something they put there intentionally to help save the bridge, or
yeah, we'll talk.
just shit that
I'll
got
do another
washed out.
presentation on Edmontonian natural disasters.
That would be a very good episode.
That would be a very good episode.
All,
Next slide,
all
please.
3 that we have.
There's
Tornado?
been like 3 floods,
Flood?
tornadoes, and I don't know. There's
The
probably
day
a
Pedro
fire.
Pascal came to town.
That was a natural disaster.
I like all the people standing up there.
Yeah,
Because it's the early 1900s and they don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, you gotta go watch the local disaster.
Yeah,
You
let's
can
go
see
look at the river.
the last slide. It was very prominent, but you can see that's the Hotel McDonald's that you're seeing there.
That one. Oh, it's just
Kind of over,
people
I was
there
gonna
too.
ask which one that one was.
kind of
Oh,
overexposed
shit.
the sky a little bit on that photo, but you know it is what it is. You want to
Yeah, it
get
looks
the.
kind of like a foggy day.
Mhm.
Oh, I imagine it was probably raining.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Does look
would
like it
do
was
it.
raining.
Next slide, please. And here it is today. So, the span was twinned in 1948. The new one is to the south of the original, so it's currently in front of the original bridge here. It's very easy to tell which one's older. The older one is rusted out to fuck.
That's the
And-
engineering term.
Interesting.
So when it was completed in 48, the tracks were still on the north span, but they were moved in 1954, and now they both carry basically 2 lanes, or I think 3, I can't remember. But they carry traffic back and forth. I think the south one, would carry the eastbound traffic, the north one, the westbound traffic. And they're much better to drive across than the high level,
This is true.
because it's less claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm. And it's not
But
as
yes,
high.
there's your demonstration of how high the waters got in 1915. Between this photo and the last one, you can see the deck of the bridge and where the water level currently is. That's got to be like 20 feet or something. I would actually have to research into the floods to actually know, because I don't know.
What the fuck?
I know, devastating to learn when you don't know.
Almost as bad as the natural disasters that happen in these photos.
Almost
Yeah,
as
those are
bad as
two
the death
equal
and
things.
destruction.
Those are very
It's
equal. Yeah,
Did
they
anyone
are.
die in those floods? I actually don't know.
Almost certainly.
I would think so.
Probably. The
Almost
houses and
certainly.
the families. Maybe it went too.
Next slide, please. The Hotel McDonald's, as referenced in the last 3 photos, I guess, as well.
Have y'all ever stayed in the hotel?
Nope.
No. Have you stayed
you?
in? Have any of you ever stayed in any of the Fairmont hotels?
Nope.
Maybe?
You have, haven't you?
I don't remember if we did.
I
I've stayed in the
had
Prince of Wales hotel.
the
as an
Prince of
adult.
Wales?
It,
Where
that's
is the
in
Prince of
Waterton. It's the one that's
Uh,
on like the hill looking over
Yes,
the town.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to look into the Prince of Wales. I can't remember if that was that must be a railway chateau. It has to be. It has to be like CP built.
I
But,
don't have a clue.
I would have
a very
to
pretty
look it
building.
up. I have had the pleasure of staying in the Banff Springs for a couple nights.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, very, very nice buildings. They're very beautiful. Wikipedia gave me a new phrase the other day when I was researching this one, chateau-esque, like hotel as like an architectural style.
Mm-hmm.
That was new, but it very much describes all these buildings. So we've got a nice image of and a couple ads for the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway's series of hotels. So in 1885, when the CPR finished its line across the country, they had this line of track going across the middle of nowhere, and the general manager Cornelius Van Horn was quoted as saying, "If we can't export the scenery, we need to import the tourists." And thus began a boom of construction for many railway hotels across the country. The Canadian Pacific's famous 4, the ones we mentioned earlier, the Banff Springs in Banff, and the Prince of Wales down in Waterton, as well as other hotels across the whole network, mainly focused on the mountains, wouldn't you believe it, but also having some in layover cities, as we'll talk about in a sec. When the Grand Trunk Pacific and Canadian Northern had to cross the country, they would engage in the same practice. The Grand Trunk had a larger purse to draw from. The Grand Trunk was a railway that was kind of like this sort of like colonial railway, sort of like owned by old British money, was like passed over for like the Transcontinental Railroad because they thought it was dumb and stupid, and therefore they lost out on like crazy amounts of a crazy opportunity. But it is what it is. So they at least built these hotels here. I'm unaware of what the Canadian Northern built, but surely they had some. So you got beautiful hotels now owned by Fairmont, such as the Hotel Macdonald in Edmonton, the focus of our episode, and the Chateau Laurier in Ottawa, the Fort Garry Hotel in Winnipeg. I have no idea if the Highland Inn in Algonquin Park still exists, or what the name for the cabins is cut off, unfortunately.
Is the Algonquin Park, is that in Edmonton? Is it outside of the city?
That's over in Ontario.
Oh, okay. Because there is Algonquin, like, area just off, like, Mayfield Road, I want to say. It's kind of in that area. Yeah.
Well, the Algonquin was a name for a native group over in the east.
Oh.
Is my understanding. Or a native word from an eastern tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not sure.
Yeah.
But these railway hotels are beautiful. They're some of the most prominent landmarks in the country. The one in Quebec, whose name I always forget, despite it being one of my favorite buildings, one of the most photographed buildings in the world.
I'm a huge fan of this building. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what its name is.
That happens
I don't know
sometimes.
its name.
The Chateau Frontenac, that's the one.
Mm.
Chateau Frontenac, probably also a Grand Trunk Pacific hotel. It's entirely possible, because it would have been in the right area at the right time to be built by the GT rather than the CP. Now, in 1919, CN took over during the management of these hotels because of the big merger that happened, because a bunch of failing railways needed to be rescued by the government. And it continued operating until like 1980-ish, at which point they actually shut this thing down until selling it to Canadian Pacific Hotels in 1988, and it opened again in 91. So there's a period where this building wasn't even operating. But just like the rest of the buildings pictured, I have no idea about the Highland Inn, but I can guarantee that the Chateau Laurier and the Fort Garry are both owned by Fairmont and operated by Fairmont to this day, as well as the Hotel Macdonald. It's had expansions, but this original building, this little original building that sort of wraps the corner here, still exists today. It is a very, very nice piece of building.
Here's my favorite piece of building.
Speaking of good pieces of building, next slide, please.
An episode on early tourism in Western Canada. Put that in the episode books.
Put it on the list. Put it on the list, folks. Anyway, here's a not nice building.
Ew. Ow! Gross! Fuck, it's disgusting.
How dare we all speak ill against the beautiful grain elevator, a humble symbol of the Canadian West.
Albertan history. Canadian
you could
in general.
include Saskatchewan and Manitoba too, I guess. I guess they also got some grain.
This looks like
This
a
is the
very
only
mod map.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of looks looks
like
devoid of props in this image, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's no trains on the tracks. There's no like trucks in the thing. Like, there's maybe a couple
Untextured walls.
Weird skybox.
Yeah.
Words on the it's gross.
But this is the only one in this presentation that doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I had to do real research. I had to go do a CBC News article. Devastating, I know. And grainelevators.ca, my new favorite website.
Are you okay? You've had an exposure to CBC. Are you okay?
The Canadian
CBC?
Broadcasting Corporation is fine.
Yeah,
Thank you very
it's
much.
not that bad.
Fine at best.
Okay at worst.
So this story was from 2015 that I sourced this from. They talked about how it was still open and running, but you've seen this grain elevator. It's very noticeable as you drive in on the Yellowhead.
I don't.
I'm just saying it's like it's
I was
a
on the
landmark.
Yellowhead
It exists.
yesterday.
It's a landmark. It exists. It's pretty
Yeah,
prominent, as
it's
you can
real.
see in the northern part of the city. This is the tallest thing, like outside of downtown. Oh my God! Someone just rang my doorbell. You'll excuse me.
I heard it.
Ugh.
All good.
I'm gonna cut this, Connor. I'll be right back.
I was on the Yellowhead yesterday. I forgot
I was not.
that.
I don't really ever go
Wow.
on the Yellowhead.
I don't either. I was visiting my friend yesterday, so I left my pocket knife at his house.
How did you forget your knife?
Well, it just fell into my pocket.
Oh, fair enough. That,
Yeah, I have really shallow pockets. Yesterday I was really pissed.
It
Yeah.
I had that once. In my car, my knife fell out of. This was after a long day of work, and it was the late shift. Which isn't that late. I was working till like 9 o'clock.
I was working the night
It's not
shift.
working the night shift. No, it wasn't.
At the
It
greenhouse.
wasn't that late, but it was later than normal. So it's
Right.
like 9 o'clock. I get to my car. My knife falls out of my pocket, and it lands in the rail of my seat, like my car seat. And I couldn't. It took me like 20 minutes to get it out, and I was exhausted. The day had it really sucked. I just about had a mental breakdown in the parking lot. I was just unable to get that knife out.
That's so funny.
I got it out eventually,
Unfortunate.
but I was losing my mind.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that sounds awful. I hate when that happens too.
Yeah.
Is that like the space between the seat and the middle console? Is that where
Kind
the
of.
rail is?
That was where it fell through, but like the rail that the seat sits
Like the
in
seat's on?
to go, like to go
like
forward and backwards.
Yes.
It did fall through in between the middle console though.
That sucks.
Yeah, it really sucked.
Yeah.
You know what? Rather than cutting that, you should put in like a test card and like some like elevator music for a second. I think that'd be funny. Yeah. They
Be like, so read anything good?
updated
this
the
week?
emergency response plan for the my local area. Very cool. What the hell was I talking about? Grain elevators. Grain elevators are iconic.
You get door people?
Yeah, I've played Team Fortress 2. I know what 2 Fort looks like.
I've seen a clip of like someone turning a corner in Saskatchewan looking at 2 grain elevators and just TF2 music
Too
like,
fort.
playing twice. It's just
know exactly what post
a
you're talking
devastating amount of
That's
time.
really good. That's really good.
Yeah. Grain elevators, very important part of Canadian history. I could probably do a whole presentation on them. This was the
Our
last
most
one.
niche episode yet.
Dude, grain
Please do
elevators
it. That wasn't a bad thing.
That's such a-
yeah,
that's a
grain
fu-
elevators are awesome.
No, that's cool.
This is the last one standing in the city. It was operating up until very recently. The article I got it from said they're still operating. It was because you can see it's labeled Alberta Terminals. It was built by the government in 1924. Quite a while ago. Hold on. There we go. My notes had government spelt wrong. I had to like get the autocorrect on it before I could continue. That was making me upset.
Absolutely impassable roadblock.
Yeah, it's devastating. The story ran 2015, so and they said that the year prior, 2014, they saw 400,000 tons of grain pass through here, which seems like a lot, but I'll bet that all those silos can hold a lot more than 400,000 tons of grain. Up until recently, it was run by Cargill. Cargill.
Carl?
The Cargill company. There's like 3 different grain companies that you get to choose from. Oh God, add Canadian Wheat Board as a subnote on as me talking about grain elevators.
That's gonna go on your own list. I'm not putting that on my list. I put
No, I'm
Alberta
not
tourism on my list.
He'll help out with that one.
I'm
None
gonna
of the
put
other
the-
ones.
I put it in our episodes to do together list.
But this
And
so it
I
was up-
will watch.
and you will watch. You
I
will
will
watch.
I
We're in
will watch.
Clockwork Orange scene. But so up until recently, this grain elevator was operating, but and there's no official source for this. This is all rumors I heard from my old job. Right? Is people saying CN has bought the property the grain elevator no longer operates, and there are plans to demolish it.
Damn.
Which, it is what it is. I mean, good fucking luck demolishing it.
It looks like a brick.
Here's a
like just
Yeah, so it is a concrete grain silo, as opposed to the one in Spruce Grove, for example, or the one standing in St. Albert. I think St. Albert still has a standing wooden grain elevator.
I don't know. Spruce Grove definitely does.
Definitely
It's a
does.
museum, and there's a farmer's
is.
market there.
I knew the
Yes.
farmer's market, but I didn't know it was a museum.
Yep, it's not very
It is a
big.
museum.
Oh, okay.
It's neat.
Can we do a museum like road trip? Like just go see small museums nearby.
Absolutely.
Like
I love.
Yes.
You have no idea. I love small niche museums.
yeah. I would love to go do that.
I will stop at
it's
every one possible on a road trip, but Ethan won't let me.
There is in Canmore, there is a really tiny museum, and by tiny I mean it is on the side of the road in like a little picture frame on like a stand, and it's called it's like a mouse museum or something like that. I can't remember. It's like a road sign one, and me and my friend were trying to find it, and then we found it, and it was in this tiny little fucking picture frame thing, and we were like, this is the most underwhelming yet overwhelming thing that we've ever seen in terms of a museum, because it was just, we didn't expect it, and it didn't say what it was like marked on the map, and it didn't say that it was a tiny thing.
Itty bitty.
We should go to Canmore and go look at it.
Okay, sounds good. It'll be much easier to find this time because you remember where it is.
Barely, but I will try.
Oh, nice. But yeah, it's a concrete grain elevator as compared to the much more popular wooden one. Much higher capacity, way more difficult to demolish. These things are very infamous for. These things are very infamous for being extremely difficult to tear down because all of those silos where you see the words Alberta Terminals Limited printed, just like solid, hollow, but like concrete.
Oh, to jump in the
like,
grain
multiple
elevator full
stories.
of grain.
Yeah, I
Don't
feel
do
like you'd
that.
sink immediately and then
to
die
take a swim
from
in the
suffocating.
grain.
Don't do that.
Yeah, do not jump in a grain elevator. You'll die immediately.
Don't jump in the
Immediately?
grain bin. You will
Oh
die.
yeah, no,
You will
it's not
you're
solid.
gonna suffocate and die.
You sink
Yeah, well,
through it
yeah.
immediately, and you get
Turbo
you'll suffocate,
quicksand.
and the pressure will kill you.
That's true.
It's-
my god.
you get killed like immediately.
That's like my biggest. That's my biggest nightmare.
Do
I
you-
don't wanna
New
think about that.
industrial accident fear.
I grew up very country. Like my grandfather still runs a farm. Did you guys, when you were little, have to watch farm safety videos? I don't remember if I had to watch them through school or if my parents just made me watch them.
I
think it was your parents. I never had
I
them.
talked to somebody a few months ago about it, and I mentioned it, and they looked at me like I was completely insane.
I may have watched them of my own accord.
Yeah, I've never
that
seen
checks
that
out
before.
that you would do that. I had a coloring book of dangers on the farm. I'm
Interesting.
not kidding. It was like an activity book, and well, just like
And
these
this
things
is
will
why you're
kill
like the
you.
way you are
Don't
now.
touch them.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Don't jump in the grain
Fuck.
elevator. Don't touch live wires. It was just stuff like that. Don't drink
yeah,
any fluids
okay.
you see around. Don't touch
Don't
any
drink
rusty metal. It was just shit
Don't
like
touch
that.
the milk.
I remember
Just
just
call the child dumb. until
don't
they
jump in the
do it.
baler. That was a real
Don't
one.
Oh,
jump
yeah.
in the wood chipper.
Don't jump in
There's
the
like-
wood chipper.
There was a big case, like, when we were in high school still, I think, of, like, a little girl playing hide and seek with her sister, and then she suffocated to death in a hay bale.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the thing got turned
Yeah.
on. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
fuck with those.
Yeah, don't fuck with
It's-
them. Even if you're a farm kid, you're not indestructible.
Don't.
You think you are.
I mean,
You're
I
not.
am, but
You are extra destructible if you're a farm
Connor
kid.
is like, you're like,
You got a
I mean, you're
stat
strong, but
debuff
you are
against those things.
destructible.
my
like,
arm
no
broke
one's
when I got
business.
hit by a soccer ball once. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
You were
god!
there, I
Devastating
think.
information to share.
I was not there.
I'm pretty sure you were. This was grade 9 or grade 8, I think.
Grade 8. I don't
He was just
think-
so strong
superhero,
and
I'm
tough,
grade
you
eight.
never even noticed he was in pain.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
It didn't like
Me or him?
explode.
He
It
was
just
so
like
strong and tough.
I got
I
hit
was so
on
strong
the
and tough, I didn't even
hit
notice.
on the wrist,
Yeah.
and it cracked my.
Ow.
It just fractured my wrist.
L.
I don't
never
remember
broken
that.
a bone in my life.
It's
I
I've
haven't-
broken
I've
both my
technically-
arms. Not
Skills.
Technically
simultaneously.
broken. I broke one of my toes, but because I stubbed it so hard.
Not the
Couple
dog.
times I was
Getting
pretty
out of
sure I
bed.
broke a toe. I dropped a little like
Yeah.
a cooler on one once. I'm
Oh,
pretty much. I was
that would
blown away. I
suck.
didn't break my toe that time.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I was pretty sure I
it's-
broke my heel once on my I think my black belt test for Taekwondo. I think I
Oh.
was like 99% sure I
Fuck.
completely destroyed my foot.
Was it
I
like
didn't,
the actual
but-
wooden one? Do you get? Were the boards layered?
Yeah,
Like,
it
is
was
that
like 3 or
why?
4 boards.
Oh fuck!
I think it was
no
a
wonder.
back kick. I did break them,
Yeah.
but I hit it wrong, and it does not feel good. And yeah,
Speaking
Even
of
one board, if you
physical
do it wrong,
injury,
Yeah, let's move
next
on.
slide, please.
Look at the old sport ball field.
Sport ball.
Sport ball.
Sport ball. It's Commonwealth Stadium, and hiding in the trees in the bottom right is also the Kinsman, the nice pool.
The nice
And
pool.
it's-
All right.
Is it
So
cooler? Okay.
there's a pool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the Olympic-sized pool with the diving platforms and everything.
Oh shit.
All pools have a
Because-
diving platform if you're not a little bitch about it.
What? Did you just hit something?
I accidentally threw my 2007 Legends class barricade across my desk when I tried to pick him up to fiddle with him.
Why would you? Never mind.
It was
so
an
in
accident.
1978.
I'm always
Edmonton
fiddling with something
hosted-
while we're on call.
Me too. In 1978, Edmonton hosted the Commonwealth Games, which is it's a sports competition. I believe it's only summer events. I don't think they ever do like winter events, and it's between like colonies or subjects of the British Empire.
I'm more of
So-
an uncommonwealth kind of guy.
So you get Canada, England, Scotland, Wales,
He just ignores me.
Northern Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and many other, like those are the ones I just remember because they're like the most common ones. So I think like Jamaica would be involved in this, but yeah, that's essentially what you're going for, is you're getting any and all subjects of the British Crown together to do sports competition. That's what the Commonwealth Games are. They still run to this day, I think. I don't know. I haven't checked up on them at all. But in 1978, Edmonton was the host for the Commonwealth Games. I'm sure it was cool. I wasn't there.
I'm sure it was cool.
I was
guess.
there. It was
Beca-
cool.
Oh yeah,
I was.
that's good.
I was
Um,
not, but I've been to the stadium.
I meant to. Yeah, we've been to the stadium. We'll get to that.
I have not
I
been
meant
to
to
the
watch the. There's actually a National Film Board documentary about like these games with like highlights from events and like other things that took place, kind of following some of the athletes. I meant to watch it, but I did not yet. So this is good that this presentation has reminded me of a thing that this presentation already made me found. Made me found? Made me found. Yes.
Can be found.
So because this wasn't just Edmonton, this was a national bid by Canada to host the games. Federal and provincial and municipal money all came together to go to just wang out, go crazy, go stupid on it.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Oh, I'm familiar with wanging.
I'm
Dude,
interested
I've
in
been
this
there
wang
before.
out process.
The
Who's
logo
up wanging
the,
out?
The logo
me,
in
your
the
boy,
top
we're
right
wanging out.
was the shut up.
Sorry.
The logo in the top right is
Sorry.
the logo of the games.
We love you, Ethan.
Like
Of
the like
games.
specifically like the this
You could do it.
We broke them.
specifically of like this games, which I actually learned recently was like only the 11th Commonwealth Games ever held was this
Oh.
one.
Fuck.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So at the time in the 1970s when the bid was won, it was determined that the Schlork Stadium out at the U of A was insufficient for holding these games. It was where the at the time named Eskimos team was playing, and
they
whenever
not
else
still
they need to
called
hold a
that?
sport.
They're
No,
called the
they-
Elks.
Are they?
They're called the
Oh.
Elks now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow football.
This
It's
was like years
CFL.
ago.
Like no one, dude, nobody cares about the CFL anymore. I feel like the CFL fell off hard.
Yeah.
Like especially in my life, like I gotta watch more games, but it's just like, come on, Edmonton, you gotta actually
Kind of-
win some of them if you want me to go.
I'm not a
It's like, I'll
sports
go
person.
when you start getting good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was I thinking about? So it was determined. It's like, okay, we need a new stadium. We need a new venue. We need somewhere where we can hold the opening and closing ceremonies of the games. We're gonna build a brand spanking new stadium, and this is it. And this is why it's called Commonwealth Stadium, because it was built for this purpose. And it wasn't the only thing that we had to build in the city. There were multiple venues for the games, for the swimming. They built the aquatic center, the Kinsman Aquatic Center, which included an Olympic-sized swimming pool and a diving pool as well, which they're currently renovating.
Nice.
And I'm excited to see what they'll do with it. They also built a
Just
velodrome.
build in with concrete. Nobody gets to swim.
That's true.
Try swimming in concrete.
They built a velodrome. You guys know what velodromes are?
No.
I've never heard that word before in my life.
It's the bike race track, the one with the slanted edges.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Really? You never seen like super fast bikers? Like
Not-
pedal bike
Not
races?
like a
I've hit them with
designated
my
biking
car.
area.
I'm not sure what you mean by the slanted.
Well, okay, just trust me on this one.
I'll
when I
believe
say,
you wholeheartedly.
Like just take my word for it. There's an outdoor like velodrome that I didn't know what it was when I stumbled upon it, but I was walking around the city one day, as you do, and I'd walked into it. I'm like, what the fuck is this massive metal structure? Turns out they had purpose built a velodrome for the games. And then there were other venues across the city. Like I think there were a couple of buildings at the U of A that were used for certain events. But these were the three that were built for the games. The velodrome, not pictured. And then the Kinsman, pictured because I like that pool. And Commonwealth, because it's a massive stadium. And it's really neat. This all went great. And the games went off not many hitches. Let's see, who didn't show up? I remember Nigeria was protesting the games because of like New Zealand's support for like sent like some kind of like athletic support to like apartheid South Africa at the time, so they had protested the games. And there was another non-comer, I think it was Uganda, didn't come, relating to, I think, a conflict, or I think the leader at the time, I forget his name, was not seen in a positive light by, I think, like some Canadians, and so they didn't go. But otherwise, there were a lot of countries attending, and it went really well. Canada won the overall games by getting 109 of the medals.
Hell yeah.
45 of them
yeah.
were gold medals.
Hell
Fuck.
yeah.
Went great. Notable for a lot of firsts, this game was the first games to have computerized ticket sales. Small Domino, Commonwealth Stadium, Big Domino, Ticketmaster kills Swifties.
Oh, yeah.
This was the first Commonwealth Games to be just called Commonwealth, as opposed to, I believe it was British Commonwealth Games before. And it was also the first to be opened by Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah, very neat stuff. Very neat stuff. The stadium now hosts the Elks. They, of recent note, they closed this top bowl down. They no longer sell tickets for the upper bowl during Elks games because they just don't have enough ticket sales. So
It's
Yeah.
just
so the
depressing.
only-
Yeah, sounds right.
yeah, kind of depressing because it's a massive stadium.
It is. And, like, the baseball stadium sells probably more. I mean, actually, that's not true, because I don't think the stadium's nearly as big as the football stadium. But they
Yeah,
fill
the
seats,
baseball-
like, up on the upper and lower parts of the stadium.
Gotta fill more seats.
This is
But
a
yeah,
hockey
the-
city.
This is
This is a hockey city, yeah.
That's why I
We
got a new
are-
arena, not a new field.
Yeah. Yeah.
This field's gonna get renovated forever. But it's a pretty nice facility. It's also really cool to drive by because the road, it's sunken into the ground. They like dug out, like the lower bowl is sunken into the ground, when you enter the place, you're pretty much level with the concourse, which is like the big ring at the top of the lower bowl, right? So they had to like excavate a lot to build this, and very cool, very very cool. So that's one landmark. All right, Connor, you ready?
I do have one question before we move on.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Why are the seats randomly green and yellow? Like, I mean, I know that's our
Looks
colors, but like, I
It's
don't
an
think it
aesthetic
does look
choice.
cool. Why are they just like randomly scattered? Like, it doesn't make a pattern. There's no
Look at it
organization
from
to it.
It's cool. Look at it from a distance. It's neat.
I disagree.
Well, you're
All
stupid.
right.
What am I doing?
Are you ready? Are you hyped?
Am I just supposed to hit the next slide?
Are you
Get
pumped?
fucking
Is this what I
hype,
think
bro.
it
Get
is?
hype.
It is what I think it is. I meant to send you that map I have. Sorry, I forgot.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh my god.
We got enough
I
here.
remember this.
I mean,
Shit.
it's still,
remembers
it's
this.
still there.
I never remembered the actual original ROM because or RAM,
RAM.
sorry.
Ram.
Shut up.
Rom is a different museum.
I'm aware. I remember the ROM more than I
It's
remember
only a
the
few
RAM.
provinces over.
But I remember like
were there
getting
more
onto
recently.
the bus and off the bus and doing this shit
I've
at
never
this
been to the
parking
ROM.
lot. The ROM is awesome. You would love the ROM.
I know I would love the ROM.
Both you guys would love the ROM.
It's a museum. Of
Go
course
to the
we'd love the
ROM!
ROM.
Let's go to Ontario. Go to the ROM. I fucking love that place. It was so cool.
I don't want
Anyways,
to go to Ontario though.
oh, it's
Too many
it sucks.
liberals.
That was
That was a joke. I want to go to Ontario very badly to see the museums. Anyways, let's talk about the best building in the city. This is my favorite building.
This is his favorite building. It's
Mm-hmm.
I had a gun placed against my head. Otherwise,
Oh,
the threat of death.
I was
above me.
waiting. I didn't say
Like the
anything
sword of
beforehand.
Damocles.
But if this episode wasn't, if you didn't put this in, I was gonna be so mad.
Be like,
I shouldn't
you
have put
bitch,
it
we're
in.
not
I think it
posting
would have
this
been
episode.
funnier. I should have put it last just to really like put you on your edge.
Then that would have made him happier because it would have been like, finally, you know.
Should have done it first to get
'Cause
it
he's
out
an
of the way.
ungrateful bitch. Yeah, that's true. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
that's better. Yeah.
This is the old Ram, the Glenora location as they're referred to. In
It used to be called the,
in
the
1950
Provincial Museum of Alberta.
I'm getting to that.
I know that. I know.
Quit backseat presenting.
The Canadian
Connor.
federal government's Confederation Memorial Centennial Program and the government of Alberta began planning a museum in 1950. They wanted to do a museum for the centennial celebrations in 1967 for 100 years of Canada. And they got in just under the wire. I don't know how bad the construction or planning was, but this place opened December 6th, 1967. They just made it a couple weeks before the year ended.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was opened as the Provincial Museum Alberta, as my notes say. Thank you, Connor, for reading ahead.
I can't. I'm not looking at your notes. I just knew that.
Thank you, Connor, for using your psychic powers to predict the future.
He's letting the autism
It
take
stood
over.
for a very long time, quite a nice location, had lots of cool galleries. The Wikipedia page is great because it just lists all the galleries that it basically ever had in like quotation marks. So there's just thousands of quotation marks all down the page.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna look at that later.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta go on Wikipedia.
I
more.
know. I should. Yeah, I know the galleries.
Wikipedia is a fine source.
He's got them all in his brain pan.
They're always rotating around because the
They're
new
all
RAM
there
is not
sizzling.
nearly as good.
All right. We'll move on.
No.
Of note that I found on the page, there was like a dedicated like paleontology group to this museum.
Oh, I was gonna
in
say that if you didn't.
1982. I found the note. I'm like, well, it says dinosaurs, so he's gonna say it. In 1982, this program was vacated from the museum in preparation for the opening of the Tyrell in Drumheller.
Yup.
Just so everyone knows, Tyrell is spelled Tyrrell. You know
Shut
that,
the
Connor?
fuck up, Ethan. For context, I gave yesterday I gave a poster presentation on some of the dinosaur research I've been doing, and I spelled Tyrell wrong. And one of my professors walked up to it and pointed to it, and she didn't even say anything. That's not true. She liked the
happens.
poster,
It happens.
but she did point at it.
nodding or shaking your head.
She's too cool to be angry at you.
She's
Don't
very
worry
cool.
about it. Another fun note that I found on the Wikipedia page: paid admission began in 1990.
What?
Huh.
That I didn't know.
That was crazy to me. It's like this place was entirely
I didn't know
government
that.
funded till the 90s.
More museums should be free. I mean, I get they have to pay for it somehow, but like, that's what I want my taxes to go to.
It's a service. I gotta go see the thing.
This is what my taxes should be going to.
Let me in. Let me in.
I
Let me
already
in.
paid my let me in. Let me in.
Yeah. And then the next note here. And then, so for the longest time, it was just Provincial Museum of Alberta. On May 24th, 2005, during the, this time, Province of Alberta's 100 Years of Existence celebration, Queen Elizabeth II visited, and therefore it became the Royal Alberta Museum. Then 5 years later, December 6th, wow, they closed it the same day they opened it. In 2015, the museum closed. To be moved to the new downtown location, which opened like 5 or more years later. Yeah, actually, it was like 4 years later. It was in 2019 because we got 1 year.
Ethan and I went opening weekend.
We sure did. It was fun.
It was fun.
There were more people there than we've seen any other time we've gone.
That's true. To be fair, the last time we were there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We were there minutes after it opened.
Everybody wants to go.
It's commitment.
And then, so that's this museum. It's got the weird. I should have gotten a photo of the weird statue.
It's very difficult. You're talking the dinosaur, or the weird
no,
man
I'm talking
on the
about
outside?
Like the weird people on the street.
You should have put that in.
Opposite of the entrance. They're so weird.
If I can find a picture, I'll put it on screen now.
Yeah, weird fascist vibe statue that's on the other side of this building.
It's a really weird statue.
It's so weird. And then my only other note here was of one of the galleries. The name of it was the Syncrude Gallery of Aboriginal Culture.
That is true.
I thought that was a bit oxymoronic, but that was it. That was my entire contribution to that.
I can rattle some trivia off if you want.
Hit me.
So there, at least when I was a child, there were 4 main exhibits. There was the rotational gallery, which was in this corner, if I remember correctly. I have a map of the galleries. I will put it on screen if I can find it. I went to a camp here. Ray maybe also was there in elementary school, where I basically spent a week in here, and I still have the notebook that I had, and there's a map on the back of it. So I'll put that up if I can. This was just traveling galleries would come, take it over for a few months, and then they would leave. On the bottom one was the biodiversity and ecology one. This was composed mainly of the dioramas of the animals. They moved most of them to the new galleries. This was on this side. There was also a theater, I think, about in this sort of area. But the good galleries were moved to the new ones, or dioramas. The old ones are just not there. Upstairs consisted of 2 galleries. The Syncrude for Aboriginal Sciences, or whatever the name was. It was quite good.
Gallery of Aboriginal Culture.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. It was a pretty good. I liked all the galleries, actually. They're all pretty good. But the Aboriginal one was probably the best name. I know that word's a little. Most people are, that's what it was called. I know most people don't really use that term anymore. Indigenous is a better term.
Not in Canada, at least.
No, but that's what the gallery was called. But it was a very good exhibit, and the new human history one is in the new RAM is vastly inferior. I think
it was kind of disappointing.
There's the first half is pretty cool, where it is indigenous people, and then you get basically after the 1900s, and it completely falls apart. And it's just not a very well laid out gallery. I'm very disappointed by the human history one. The biodiversity ones are in the natural sciences gallery in the new one. They took all the good parts out of it. And I think that's a very good exhibit in the new RAM. The 4th gallery up here was the Earth Sciences one, which was always my favorite. It consisted of several small galleries, including the Bug Room, which has been also moved to the new RAM, and it's bigger and better now.
Lots of
There
cute
was
bugs in
the
there.
geology department, which was also very good. The paleontology room, which wasn't very good, but I loved it. Which again,
That's all that matters.
they took the best kind of stuff out of it and put it in the new one. And I think there was one or two things in the upstairs room as well, but I don't quite remember. In the 50s or so, a kind of conference was held at the university about making, like, hey, we have all of these fossils in Alberta. It's a really important thing. And this is mostly being worked by American museums, mostly the American Museum of Natural History and also the Royal Ontario Museum. A lot of holotypes of animals are over there. They are not in Alberta. A holotype is the specimen that you define an entire species off of. So there's a conference at the university with a bunch of very famous paleontologists, including, I think, most of the Sternbergs, which was a family which they did a lot of paleontology in Western North America. And they basically determined we need to build we need to start doing this here. So that led to the creation of the University of Alberta Laboratory for Vertebrate Paleontology, which is still around today. That's all the trivia I have. Give me 3 hours, I'll think of more once we're done recording.
Okay, sounds...
But,
Yeah.
That'll be no problem, man. Anyway, quickly moving on. Next
I'm
slide,
sorry.
please.
Hey,
All right, now it's my turn.
I'm sorry, this is Ethan's episode.
You chilling. So I'm always saying it. Railways very important in this city. But most of them have been removed, including the downtown city yards for CN. So when in 1905, just after the province had been formed, the Canadian Northern Railway and the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway were racing across the country to see who was going to get their transcontinental, their second Canadian transcon built first. They both ended up in Edmonton and made two different yards. This downtown yard that is in the center photo is the Canadian Northern Yard. Now, in 1905, this wasn't exactly downtown, and the city built up around it. But that's theirs. The other one, the Grand Trunk Pacific, built the yard. Technically, it was in the background of like the photo of the grain elevator. Doesn't really matter. That one still exists and is still used by CN. Now, both companies are merged in the creation of CN in 1919. And this yard still saw use for quite a lot of time. You can see a lot of industrial activity occurred downtown. It's probably difficult to make out in the photo because it's a little small, but you can see, so just for context from where we are here. So in the center photo, the road at the bottom there is 101st Street. We are looking west. And the road that we see, like the main road just next to the rail yard there, is 104th Avenue. This plot of land directly in front of us here is what will become Rogers Place. This photo is taken from the CN Tower, pictured on the left.
Oh.
I guess this is kind of about the CN Tower too. It's cool. It's big. It's got the CN logo on it. It was built by CN for the purpose of managing their railway. It was the tallest building in the city for quite a while. It was one of the first skyscrapers in the city.
Ooh, up scraping the sky.
Ooh, up scraping the sky, dude. Big blue sky. You gotta scrape it.
Ooh, I love that.
They
song.
hosted
British.
all of their operations for at least Western Canada in here, from when it was created, centralized traffic control dispatch, to their generalized dispatch, to you would have all of the people taking orders, sales. This is a massive office building filled with people running this railway, keeping things moving across Canada. And it still stands, but it's no longer owned by CN. A couple years ago, I think just around either the pandemic, slightly after the start, it was sold to a leasing company for the like nominal, like the peppercorn price of like $10, as well as the assumption of like $64.5 million of debt on the building, because it's pretty much an empty office building. plans for what to do with it range from like, I think one of the more popular ones I've heard is you're gonna put some like housing in there, like making an apartment block, which I would live there. I'd be the only person, but I would live there. It was, so yeah, that's the tower, and then you can see as you follow 104th, right? That's what I was going with this. The street running next to the yard there. There's a whole bunch of different rail cars, kind of angled toward the street. Well, all along all these buildings, they've all got a bunch of different tracks so that you're able to put a car, like a rail car there, to serve a customer. There was a whole bunch of business downtown for the railways here. And now way in the distance, which you probably can't see, like maybe 5 blocks down from where the image is taken in the center photo, there's a slightly darker line. You probably can't see it, and that's fine.
Oh,
because you can just use your imagination.
Okay.
You can just use your imagination, because just down the street from here is the connection with the Canadian Pacific. Because when the Canadian Pacific built the high-level bridge, that's the yard they came to. They actually pulled, because this yard was built in 1905. The CP was second. They drove their line right up here so that now there was an interchange between the two railways. They could, if you had ordered your car and it was headed to Calgary, you could and you're built here and served by the Canadian Northern, they can take your car and give it to the Canadian Pacific so they can haul it down to Calgary. Yes, there was lots of rail industry in the city, but it is all gone now, completely gone from downtown. So after CN took over, they operated it continuously up until the 80s, at which point, with the rise of the continued rise of the automobile and the industry moving out of the city center, revenue for all of this basically dried up. The only thing still going was the passenger trains to the station, which was in CN Tower, or at least next to. You can see in the center photo, actually, that train on the platform there, it's headed by a couple diesels. That most likely would be maybe even the Supercontinental running the current route that Via's Canadian would be doing. So the westbound, it would be heading to, yeah, dude, I love continents like Pangea. I can't think of any modern continents.
Modern continents?
Laurasia.
It would be running to
Gondwana.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Huh.
So once it all dried up in the 80s, CN cut the line. They tore up all the track. Now the Via train goes to their little Via station on 121st next to the Yellowhead. And the lands were donated to the brand new, this like new school, college, university thing. It's kind of obscure, not really important. No one really cares about it.
No.
I literally have in my notes for the photo I have of McEwen of just write some school IDK.
They don't even have any dinosaurs there. It's a worthless school.
They do.
It's a pretty cool school.
Club.
I know some cool people who go there.
They don't do the cool anthropology though.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Now,
They do.
the
They have,
lands
like, a
for
bones lab. They do have a lab in there for specifically archaeological anthropology.
That doesn't mean the research is done. I actually have
The land-
It's not a research institution. It's a fucking post-secondary
I'm
institute.
so upset I started this.
Oh my god. Connor and I will not.
The
I'm sorry. Okay,
the land for the land for McEwen was donated in 1991, but McEwen itself actually existed before that. It was it was like a couple of different like locations that were almost like storefronts for their like college. They only got like the ability to grant degrees like after this donation, after the now main campus has been built. Which I should add on, it looks great.
Oh.
Those 4 like parapets, like kind of thing that they repeat down the building. That's it looks great. I think
It does.
It's like they're like bell towers or
I
something.
gotta admit, it is a
No.
cool looking building.
It is.
It
It's
looks
really cool.
I'm a huge fan of the big
they-
clock out.
It is a lot of glass, but
The
it does
number
look cool.
7. That's building 6. Building 7 is a little bit older, but the first building in the main campus is building 5, which is on the very east side. So it's right
Yep.
next to the 6th building here, and that one looks really, really nice. They're building a business building. I have a story really briefly.
Gross.
Go ahead.
I was, for the first time, came to McEwen a few months ago, I think. And he was trying to tell me where he was, because he was going to meet me after class. He was going to try and find my classroom. Didn't end up doing that. And I was trying to find where he was. And he's like, I'm in the one with the towers. And I'm like, there's towers
They all have
everywhere.
towers.
Literally
There's so
every
many.
building.
It's every building. And he's
What's
like,
the number?
yeah. I'm like, what number? He's like, I didn't think you knew a number. I'm like, these are they're building numbers. It's not like U of A
They're all
where they have
numbered.
hub
They're
and
literally
sub and-
numbered by which street they cut off.
Exactly, yeah. I was like, you went to building 7, and he's like, he's like, which one's that one? Or he was
The
like,
seventh
he's
one.
like, yeah. I was like, I don't know if I should have said which street, and I was like, I would have understood which street, but yeah. So that was fun. Anyways, cool school, love it.
I've never actually been there.
I-
I've only been to the parking
I
lot.
know. You should come inside before I
Well, just
graduate and leave
arrange.
forever.
Slide through.
Wait, before you do. The CN Tower, when you're not looking at it directly, I've kept noticing as I'm looking at the photos, the white part in the bottom of the building doesn't always register in my mind as a part of the building, and so it just kind of looks like the CN Tower is just floating, like on a lawn.
Oh, ominous music.
Yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to contribute.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you know I've thought of several things to say about the Ram.
Yeah, I'm fully aware you have. Write them down, sweetie.
They moved it because it was mostly asbestos. I was there.
Write them down.
I was there for a
sweetie.
TED talk, and my dad, after
dad.
it closed, and my dad went to see Logan, and then the event ended early, and he was watching a movie, so he couldn't come pick me up. So I was stuck there
Write
for like
them
2
down.
hours.
And you were
Connor.
exposed to so much asbestos.
Don't even write that one down. That even go to your therapist. Hey, Blatchford Fields. There used to be an airport in the city. Did you guys know this?
No,
No, not at all.
no.
Never
I
knew
didn't.
about the airport.
I
Oh yeah,
know.
here's. I knew I had another photo of the Grand Trunk Pacific Rail Yard. There it is. It's right there at the top of the photo, just north of the airport. You see that dark little circle there is the roundhouse.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Derek Circle.
Yeah, hey, there used to be an airport in the city. Yankee X-Ray Delta, Edmonton City Airport. This photo is from 1946. It's an aerial photo. We could do a whole episode talking about aerial photography. It's very cool. So the city center airport
in the center of the city.
was not even close to the center of the city, to be honest. It was quite a few streets north. It's like on like 110th Street or something. My cat Simon, you know the bit where Garfield is stuck to the screen door?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's literally stuck to my fucking dude.
That's funny though.
Jackie was whining earlier as we were recording, but I didn't let him in.
Yeah, Ellie kept scratching at the door. Eventually, I had to let her in, but
I didn't let
she would
Jack in.
stop squitching.
Fun facts about this airport. It is the first licensed airfield in Canada. I'm not entirely sure what that means to be licensed, but 1926, first one. Very important airfield. Lots of history. Go to the Alberta Aviation Museum. It's very cool. Lots of history of bush pilots. Honestly, all the legends about bush pilots and like the Mad Trapper and all that bullshit and Wapme. That's its own presentation. Not gonna really get into that. But it closed in 2013. None of these runways exist anymore. There's a massive development going on top of it. What I like to note in this photo is a couple things. What do we got here? So the main road going from the top left to the bottom right of the photo, just below the airport there.
This one?
That's Kingsway. That is Kingsway.
Oh. alright.
And you'll see intersecting it in a sort of an X pattern there.
So definitely
is-
not the center of the city.
Where?
No, yeah.
This?
Well,
I like that
No,
building
just
shaped
to
like
the-
an H. This one?
it's probably still there. Yeah. No, those are the runways, man.
What are we talking about? What do you mean X shape?
You see how just south of that runway you're pointing at there, how another road meets Kingsway and X? Yeah. That is Princess Elizabeth Avenue. Now, early in the city's history, they started planning the grid, and it involved this area with Kingsway where there was going to be like a big sort of like X pattern in the road network with a couple parks lying around and like some reserved land for like green areas. I mean, you can see it's kind of in effect in this photo. There's no housing developments like in that area. You can see it's a lot of different like sets of trees or other fields, but there is plenty of housing development to the right and left of the fields, the east and west, as well as to the north. It never really came to fruition. See, now Kingsway still exists, but and Princess Princess Elizabeth Avenue still exists, but not to the extent that the city planners had planned for. You can see the road continues off to the south a little bit. And then also there's the whole rail yard up at the top, but you know, it's trains. We love trains. Trains are great.
Trains are cool.
Trains are great. At this time, maybe it'd still be called Calder. It used to be called Calder. The neighborhood just
Calder,
to the north of that roundhouse would be called Calder. Yeah. And then the Royal Alex Hospital would be the large building in the very, very bottom right, just before the vignetting gets it. But yeah.
Right? Bottom right?
Bottom right. Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah, that's the Royal Alex Hospital.
Cool.
So the airport itself was a commercial airport, right off Kingsway, so it was very convenient to get it right into the city. It existed for a period at the same time as the international airport. I never looked up when the international airport was constructed. But it was itself quite the destination and stopover for people doing very long journeys across the globe. Because when in the time of like, I don't know, your big prop planes that look goofy, in the time where when you traveled, it looked like the Indiana Jones clip where they got the map and there's like your like at half capacity with the little line on it, and you're bouncing around to a bunch of different places. You like literally had to do that because the plane had to make a whole bunch of stops for fuel, right?
And there's Nazis.
And there's Nazis. It was real life back then.
Wow.
During the I guess at the time, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But either way, the Air Force had a major presence at the base at this place during World War II, and afterwards. I don't think Nemeo and the garrison had been constructed yet. It may have been a post-World War II thing. And it also saw many airlines, such as Pacific Western Airlines, which has a cool livery, and Canadian Pacific Airlines, which was the railway, because they let railways run airlines sometimes.
Trains can't fly.
Yeah, idiot.
The Canadian Pacific had a very extensive transportation network. They had boats and shit too. We could talk about the boats.
Trains can't swim either, moron.
I'm going to show you an image of trains swimming after this. As well as Trans-Canada Airlines, Canadian Airlines, a bunch of old airlines that are now just all Air Canada, essentially. And yeah, it was an airport. It is no longer. Probably closed it for good reasons, frankly. I'm sure all the lovely people of sort of north central Edmonton appreciate that there's no longer planes flying
Yeah, I was
over
gonna
them
say
at all times
that.
landing.
Yeah, I think I'd feel more safe. If that would be cool, but it would be weird. It would be scary.
I don't think it saw any like major accidents. These runways, they look short. They can land 737s, right? Not the big ones now, but like you can land some pretty long stuff. It makes this so you can see in this photo, since it's from 1946, before the invention of the terrible highway, the Trans-Canada hasn't been built yet, just south of the rail yard. But just up here let's see, where is it? So you remember the end of the runway where we were just at that up-down runway at the very top of it? Yeah, and then just to the right, there's a graveyard there. So that graveyard, and I noted this when I worked at CN, was built next to an airport, a railway yard, and a highway. Very, very peaceful place to be laid to rest, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of keeping at least some memory of this place alive, we got the air traffic control tower, which still stands and probably will still stand as part of the neighborhood. I think they've agreed upon. And the aforementioned aviation museum, which we love, and they are currently under the threat of like being evicted, which would be terrible.
Oh yeah, we talked about this a while ago.
Yeah.
Isn't there a plane in the middle of a field they try to get, but they couldn't get the money to get it out of the field?
Over at Villeneuve Airport, which is just to the northwest of the city.
You and Cole told me about that.
There is a 737-200 with like the old engines, or it may even be an original series one, sitting in a field because there was the intention to, like right as the airport was closing, they flew this airliner from the city center airport on a short hop over to Villeneuve, landed it, towed it into the field, parked it there for the intention of this museum moving out there. But they didn't because the funds never came up, and now there is a 737 in a field just south of the Villeneuve airport. Kind of rotting. Very sad. Need more money. Let them do what they want. Let them preserve the cool planes.
We should do a plane heist.
Let's go steal the plane.
Yeah, just fucking steal it.
I know a guy.
I have been to the aviation museum, but I was really little. I don't remember it. Also, I like that his name is Pickled Wings. I think that's funny.
Pickled Wings. That's really cute.
Thank you, Pickled Wings, for the photo.
I've turned myself into a pickle, Morty. I'm Pickled Wing.
All right.
I'm tickled pink.
How many more slides do we have?
This is the last one.
Okay, then let's not bother stopping the recording.
Yeah, let's not bother stopping recording. Also, I really need to pee.
Oh.
Hey, look, another aerial photograph. Aerial photographs are
we
great.
can take a break.
No.
We can pause.
Right.
Okay.
No, I am so strong and tough.
If you want to go, I can rattle more facts about the Ram.
Don't leave me alone with him.
No, I'm not leaving her alone with you. This is the University of Alberta. I
know that place.
Guess what this was. Yeah, you've been there.
Stanky.
You're right.
Yeah.
And this is essentially all of like the first buildings that were constructed. The University of Alberta.
I've seen this picture before.
Was created after the Provincial University Act in 1906. It was led by Premier Alexander C. Rutherford. Hey, I know that name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a library named after him.
Yeah, there is. I have a note here that says owning Calgary since 1905. Lamau.
Goddamn right.
So, when it was being decided where the main university of the province would go, it was up for debate. It was said like during like discussions for it. It's like, oh, the university is it's going to be south of the North Saskatchewan River. Don't worry, it's not going to be in Edmonton, which is already the political capital of the city. Surely it should go to. Surely, maybe it probably kind of should go to Calgary, the largest city in the province. And it's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll build it south of the North Saskatchewan. So they built it in Strathcona, which about is south of the North Saskatchewan River, and is also like 15 years later became part of Edmonton. So yeah, owning Calgary since the formation of the province, it's what we're about.
Nice.
Never forget it.
Yeah,
the first classes were held here in 1908.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, he was there. And they began laying out a sort of a master plan for the whole university in 1910. So let's go over what we can see in this image. Are you ready, Connor?
I'm ready. This is
All
quad
right.
right here.
That what?
Is this not quad right here?
Just up.
This
That's
is like
that what you were pointing at was convocation.
Oh, so this... Wait. All right, I fucked it up
That's-
immediately. This is
Well,
getting...
you can see.
You ready,
can-
Connor?
Okay.
Let's show you how.
Let me
we
orient
run next
myself.
school.
So you got the main quad there. It's the big rectangle with Pembina, Athabasca. and
Okay, yeah, I was
St.
right
Paul's.
then. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
this
you were
is...
pointing down.
Oh,
That's main quad.
I'm pointing the wrong direction. I thought it was going... Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so Earth Sciences goes right here. CJSiev is right here.
Yes.
And then this is sub over here. The train comes... Or the bus comes around this way.
Okay,
this is dentistry. Actually, no, that would be registry.
That would be
dentistry would be
It's
here.
admin. It was like the admin building.
Yeah, this dentistry would be right here, I think.
You can you find St. Stephen's College?
I don't know which one that is. Is that this one?
Yeah.
I don't know what
cool.
building that is. Education's right
Yeah,
here.
that's
Isn't
St. Stephen.
that,
That's not where education
It's
is.
across the street from that one. It's like in this area.
That's across the street from the admin is still just St. Stephen's College.
No, it's
Where's
over
the
here
Butter
too.
Dome?
It's
off to the left.
It's over here.
Oh, so like not even in.
The hospitals would be here.
Yeah.
No, the hospitals are off to the left.
It would.
Um,
Well, this would be medical science, and then this would be the engineering, or not engineering.
no, that would be,
non-engineering.
Like,
The
actually, no, that
ECHA,
wouldn't be Butter
not
Dome. That'd be
engineering.
like Van Vliet.
That would be like here,
Yeah,
and then
but you're
the
like off to the
not
left.
not
This is-
engineering. This
we
is
cannot
engineering.
see any of
ECHA
this stuff.
is what I'm talking about. Would be here. Is it ECHA? Yeah, no, it's ECHA, and then medical science is here, and then the hospitals are a little bit farther.
This is so engaging. And then where's Dewey's, Connor?
Dewey's is
Dude.
that one, I think.
Yeah, that's the power plant.
Yeah, that's the one.
So yeah, convocation. The only building that that I see here that doesn't exist anymore. You see, what is so at the time it was the arts building, convocation hall. It's no longer the arts building. You see up behind arts, there's like two, like buildings coming off in rows.
These two? No, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
those two.
okay.
The one on the south still exists. It's Trifo Hall, but my understanding is
Oh,
the north
yeah,
one
okay.
was demol is no longer exists and just now that's where Cameron sits.
Yeah, okay.
But out of all the buildings, for that to be the only one missing, pretty good.
It's not bad.
There's
I like
also
the old buildings.
That is pretty good. Yeah.
I'll imagine like the Rutherford House and other such like old houses for like university administration people, probably standing in this photo. Too tiny to pick out. Other place to note, Horlack Park, I guess, and the North Saskatchewan. And then you can see just fields of where there is currently so many houses. There is just nothing because it's 1923 and there was nothing. Old stuff. Isn't it cool?
I like
the
the old
moral of the
buildings.
story. Old stuff is cool.
Convocation is
cool.
actually a super cool building. I've only been in there once. Rebecca and I went there.
What's
I'm sure it is.
convocation like?
There's nothing in it. It's basically just study spaces and offices.
Oh. Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
That's
It's
it.
basically what the SAMU building is.
The best
for
building is
McEwen.
Earth Sciences because it has
It's
the dinosaur
not-
museum and nobody else goes in there.
Which one has
Brackets
the
not
rocks?
pictured.
It's not
The rock
pictured.
museum.
For sciences.
That is in the same building, yeah.
Then that is a
Just
good
down
building. I agree.
It's a good building. Yeah, that's all I got.
Good episode.
Good episode.
So what
Yeah,
we
old
learn?
stuff, moral of the story, old stuff is cool.
Old
You
stuff
should
is
learn
super
about it.
cool.
Old stuff cool.
You should preserve it.
I can
And
hear.
you got to understand your landmarks. So you
That
know
old
what
ramp
city's
better
all
not
about.
better not get torn down.
Otherwise, I'll go in there and get Mrs. Thelioma.
It's either becoming a park or a like a
A
oh my
museum.
God. No, it's
Museum for the
it
museum.
comes back into a museum. I would go to
Turns
that.
back into
What the hell is
yeah.
the building called? Oh my God.
Recreation Center?
No. I'll think of it. I'm
Science
gonna put a
Center?
comment with more facts
Okay.
because
Oh,
I
God,
thought of
devastating.
more.
Scroll down for
Oh
more,
my-
folks. But
Oh
thank
my
you so
God.
much for listening. Don't even get me
Or I'll
started on
forget.
podcasts about presentations about things. I'm Ethan.
Oh,
I do photography. The link's in
spice
the
it up.
description. I need to pee really bad, so I'd really appreciate if you guys talk quickly about what you'd like people to follow you on to find more people. That do
Subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe
Leave us
to
5 stars
CJSiev.
on Spotify. I do
Us-
YouTube
ooh,
videos.
yeah.
Ray does art.
Yeah, I do art.
It's all linked below.
Yep.
Awesome.
Connor also does photography.
I also do photography. Yeah, I need to post more pictures.
I don't do
actually.
photography. Photography's for nerds.
You're a nerd.
I do real art like a real person. Anyways,
You drew out Kingdom Hearts.
And I drew Bionicles for you.
Yeah, that was
bitch.
cool. That was the best art you've ever done.
Thank you.
Actually, you didn't. You didn't. You put JPEGs in.
I do
Please
wanna
stop
do it again.
bitching. My bladder is going to explode. Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a nice night. Bye.
Bye.